In this game, Nyoshi took black, Rodolphe took white, or Rodolphe. Maybe it should be pronounced with French accent. It starts with a Joseki, and then it's possible to immediately continue. It's also possible to play elsewhere. But white quite smartly plays on the side, because this can also help in the fight which can emerge in the bottom left. Now black started a fight. Then I don't really understand it. Why do we start the fight after the exchange? But alright, we can still start the fight. White plays here, and now the Joseki, if you don't know it, it's difficult to guess. The Joseki is here and here. Then black can put a lot of pressure on white's stones, but white has a way out. In fact, I am not completely sure of these variations in which order you should play. Maybe you can play a variation like this. But yeah, basically white has a way out. Also this move is good for white. It's all right. Here the ladder maybe is concerned. Okay, so I think that the easiest is to just play now the tiger's mouth. It's a Joseki. But in the game, white plays on the side, and then black gets this ideal shape. And apparently, now white still has a weakness in his shape, in her shape, sorry. No, in his shape. So now white still added a move. But then it was better to just jump. Then there is no weakness left, and we can play normally on the bottom side. So that's when you try to be a bit too efficient and you play a move which leaves a weakness, you end up being less efficient. Now black has a beautiful shape, white attaches, and I don't understand. Of course, after the attachment, we need to hane. We hane, and then we can choose. We maybe protect the shape or play the knight's move, but black just played the knight's move, and then suddenly black's shape gets much worse. Now black connected like this, so black basically became a one-dimensional stick running towards the center. That's really bad. We could have gotten a good result like this, or maybe white plays here, but now we actually get a bad result in this fight. The fight becomes difficult, and white is very happy to add this move, which seals the hole which used to exist in white's area. Black plays here. Maybe the Kosumi was better, because after this move, white can play this and this. That's very annoying. Black gets a double empty triangle, and then white continues. Looks very natural, otherwise black can play here. However, I am a bit not sure about this direction of play. Black pushes, white still adds a move. This doesn't seem exactly right, because there is a big weakness in white's shape. Black might go here, and it's difficult for white to fight because there is also another weakness. So this is a big problem. For sure, at this point, I would rather add a move on the bottom, which is a lot of points, and it seals the weakness. So it is efficient. It does two things at once. And well, black doesn't threaten much in the center, in fact, but white played in the center, and I think that as black I would go immediately for the weakness. Instead, black plays here. That's certainly not as important. This is a strange attacking move. First of all, we should first protect our shape, but if we play from the top, then the tiger's mouth is a much better shape. This shape leaves too much bad agi. It's not about cutting now, it's about the agi of cutting. So black doesn't cut now. Black first plays in the center and then uses the weakness in white's shape. This was very well played by black, and black managed the position quite successfully. Then white turns to the other attack on black. So this makes sense. And black, what should black do? Generally, after the kick, you should extend. Your opponent will surely answer, and now what do? You can think maybe of making a base like this, maybe of running, maybe you can descend. It's a good move for making base because it threatens creating an eye in the corner, and just by itself it gives you an eye space. So you have a lot of options. Certainly what you don't want to do is you don't want to play these moves. These are Ajikeshi because the descent might be a much better move. And these are completely not needed because if you really need, because for example, you are afraid that you will get cut, then you can use them. They will be always your center, so you don't need to play them now. You would need to play them only if you are afraid that now white will immediately go for this. But this only strengthens black, it seems, so white is not going to play it. But black played these moves, Atari, Hane and Atari immediately. Alright, that's another idea. This is possible to play like this, though most often it's bad because it strengthens your opponent much. But the idea is that now you play some light move, maybe here, maybe you attach, I don't know, maybe a tiger's mouth. This, to me, doesn't really seem right, all of that, because even after the extension there is a cutting point. But it's at least a coherent plan. But in the game, black connected. And this is a big mistake, because if we went up, then we would certainly not play these exchanges afterwards. Also, maybe after we play the exchanges, now white doesn't have to add a move like this because white is already stronger. And indeed, white instead plays on the side. It also is done almost in center, kind of in center. White could have played here and maybe it was better. So this was not good by black. If you play Hane and Atari, it is not for connecting right after. If you are to connect right after, then a better idea is to stand up without playing the exchanges, and you are not going to play the exchanges afterwards. Alright, so here the fight looks good for white. And well, black can make at least an eye and then probably still run. But in the game, black tries to find some stronger variation. And in the end, it ends up with white cutting off black stones. So that's a good result for black. Now black peeps, but it's against the proverb. Don't peep on the cutting point. This cutting point might be used. If you want to use it right away, then play a bit further. This is a good approach, because then your opponent doesn't really know, should I answer or should I leave it, but then it looks a bit risky. But if they answer, then your exchange is much better than such an exchange as the exchange in the game. So don't peep on the cutting point. If you want to use the cutting point, rather play a bit further and leave some ambiguity. Like this, white is very happy, very, very happy with the exchange. Black still peeped, made some shape, but yeah, it's better even to play here because there is a real hole there, and if you play like this, it's actually a bit risky. Your opponent can attack this whole group of black. But for now, white slides. That's not a big move at all. There are much bigger moves on the right side, so now black can play here or maybe better here. But in the game, black continues, hoping that it's center, that white answers. But white doesn't need to answer because black has only three liberties. So yeah, why would white answer? Instead, white attacks the group. If I was white, I would certainly attack it closer, maybe here, because yeah, just for my line of stones to be connected and for black to take dame while running. But this move is a bit risky. Now black can play here and split white stones. That's an unnecessary risk. Okay, black plays on the third line. Yeah, still maybe black will manage to split white. In this situation, rather connect solid. It's better, should be better, though. I think it should be better. Like, you know, later if black wants to kill you, black can peep you here. So probably it's better to connect solid. Though also always you can consider this variation, and it's an even result most often. I think that here white can be even satisfied, unless now black can capture everything here. But I am not sure. Maybe black can think of this. Anyway, white protects the shape. Certainly you should connect like this. This exchange is good for white. It weakens black's position on the outside, so white can play it right away. White plays elsewhere though, then manages to cut off black's group. That's also big, and black makes a little misread, it seems, because yeah, black could have played like this and lose less, though well, difficult to say. if less or more. Maybe like this is better, but just connect solid. Like this, black gets this block at J19 in center, so in fact it's nice for black. Maybe actually it's better than dying with less stones, but not getting that center endgame. So anyway, the game goes on, but it should be a rather big advantage of white. Yeah, and now black still needs to add a move. That's why you should play here. Or you can first make the exchange to make sure that they are yours, and then I guess this connection is the best. White needs to go back, and then black can take the last big point on the board. But in the game, black takes gote here. White takes that last big point. Then white runs. All right. Why not here? Because now it's only one eye, and in the game it's 1.5 eye. That makes sense, though, is it? It's not exactly 1.5 eye. Black can still destroy, but black cannot destroy in center. Yeah, wait. Okay, it's a bit confusing. I don't know how many eyes it is. Maybe it is something like 1 1/4 of an eye. Anyway, white has a way out. Black tries to use some weaknesses in white's shape, but there is not much of that. White connects everything, and the game finishes with a relatively big advantage of white. In the end, white makes a trick, so black could have, well, black must have added a move, in fact, but after white took away black's liberties, white plays here and makes this a seki, so black loses 14 points here. Very nicely found by white. And then black resigned, but anyway, the game was victorious for white. Anyway, it would be. All right, so that's it about this game. We can move to the next one.